General Jack Keane is former Vice Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army and a Fox News military analyst. Hi, General.
Good to see you, Allison.
So President Obama's first two defense secretaries, as we saw there, Leon Panetta, who you just heard from, and Robert Gates, they were at a forum in Dallas this week, and they both said that the president should not have sought congressional approval for any military strike. What do you think?
Well, it is extraordinary. I mean, the fact that they are both very experienced men in Washington. They've served multiple presidents. And I think for them to simultaneously criticize the President of the United States, who they just finished serving, is a striking event in of itself. I certainly agree with their conclusions. I believe while we were using the instruments of war to conduct a strike, there was never any intent to commit the nation to a war, and therefore congressional consultation and approval was not necessary. I think we should have been responsive and done it within a week of determining what had transpired in terms of the chemical attack itself and who originated it, and it should have been over with. And we would not be in this debacle that we are in today, certainly.
Now, interestingly, both of these former defense secretaries disagreed on whether or not a military strike was necessary. Panetta said yes, because the president had drawn that red line, and Gates said no, because he felt that Syria was way too combustible to sort of add fuel to the fire by making this strike. So it is fascinating, is it not, General? I mean, to your point, to hear them but on the public stage, in a public forum, you know, disagreeing with their former commander-in-chief and then disagreeing with each other.
No, certainly. And the disagreement they're having with each other is one that the American people are having as well. And certainly the Congress of the United States and others who are seriously engaged in observing this, like commentators on Fox and myself. But the fact of the matter is what's so sad here is that our Syria policy now, Allison, is limited to chemical weapons disarmament. And the White House is delusional to think that Assad will disarm and give up his chemical weapons and his manufacturing capability. He will not do that. He will preserve much of it. And it's also a whim and a wish to think that this would somehow lead to a political settlement. The fact is, Assad will get stronger with Russian and Iranian arms shipment and supply shipments that will continue to aid him for his for his conventional weapons use. That's the facts of it. And the opposition force is considerably weaker as a result of all of this.
Now, General, I mean, just the fact that these two defense secretaries couldn't agree, and the fact, as you just said, your opinion was different from other military experts, different from other commentators, does that suggest that the president was damned if he did and damned if he didn't? Was there any winning strategy that the president could have sought, given that there are all these disparate opinions?
Well, I think that's what presidential leadership is frankly all about. It's stepping up and listen, get the best information you can and be decisive, make the decisions you have to make based on that information. And I think this is really a lost opportunity, Allison. I think what is happening if we were able to depose Assad, which I think was certainly a reasonable option for us to pursue, not with boots on the ground, but certainly with assisting the opposition force rather considerably, we would have changed the strategic balance in the region and buffed the Iranians gaining control of the region. Frankly, now, it's less likely that we'll be able to do that. It is more likely that Assad will stay in power, tragically, and continue to use his brutal powers on the Syrian people. And the region will suffer as a result of it.
So troubling, a warning from you. General Jack Keane, we always appreciate your expertise. Thank you.